Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about my story where heartbreak led me into witchcraft. Yeah, so if you guys don't know what witchcraft is, it is a number of things actually. Divination, where you're getting tarot card readings, candle magic, conjuring up energy, conjuring up spirits, necromancy.
Never heard of that word.
Necromancy. So this is where the story began. So it all started in 2014. So that was almost 10 years ago. That's about 10 years ago. So 10 years ago, I had a friend who was like obsessed with tarot card readings and just tarot card. It was just this tarot card reading, just obsessed with tarot card readings. And I remember I was going through such a hard time in my life at the time. So then I had went and got another tarot reading from someone else who actually had a YouTube channel, and I was following her YouTube channel where she had declared and said that she's a full-blown witch. Like, she don't even care. Like, she's very open about it. She's a witch. She teaches you how to do candle magic.
It was like, okay.
It was just like, I'm interested. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm just totally interested. And so we're gonna get into the part where I'm following this girl. I'm in her Facebook group. I'm learning things. There's other witches that are, it's like a Facebook group, and everybody's talking about the different spells that they've done, the divination and all the stuff. And I was just a watcher at first. I just was a spectator at first. So what led me into full-blown witchcraft was the heartbreak. In 2015, I had my first miscarriage, and it was the worst pain, physically, mentally, emotionally, that I had ever been in my entire life.
Okay, so hold on to your wigs, honey, because this is finna get real deep, okay? First and foremost, I want to also acknowledge anybody that's going out there getting it, anybody that faces public scrutiny. This is not to kick somebody when they are down, but this is to state facts from my perspective, facts that I withheld even though I, too, feel like I was done wrong. About a year ago, 2 years ago, when I first got started on social media, I was courted by a lovely individual by the name of Q. And yes, I'm referring to Eat with Q. Over a year's time span, I gave her about 3 sessions, and every last session was on point and accurate. Do you guys remember when I was in Hilton Head, South Carolina with her? A lot of you guys came to me by way of her. And I'm going to say that in the course of our sessions, as a client, she was fabulous. She paid on time. She showed up on time. She was ready, except for that one time that she forgot. And then on our last session, I said, well, I have a trip planned to Hilton Head, South Carolina, and why don't you come? I'm all about making friends, especially friends that are entrepreneurs. That's my whole thing right now. I'm trying to meet people who can actually go and do things. You know what I'm saying? So she meets me in Hilton Head, South Carolina. I treat her to a 5-star resort, and I even brought my cat. And it was absolutely fabulous. I had a great time. We were getting to know each other. And one of the conversations that we had in particular centered around people who have done us wrong, okay? And again, we're in a hotel room at this time. We're just getting to know each other on a friendship level, not on a client and, psychic basis. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so as we're talking about each other, she says, well, what major life things have you had gone on? Or the conversation steered towards that. And I bring up the name Lala Milan, okay? And I don't know if you guys know this about me, but me and Lala Milan were best friends in college. And I'm going to be very mature and very transparent with you guys as of right now, okay? And I hope this is a testament to my own growth. We were best friends in college. After college, she started to blow up, and I grew extremely envious of her. And around that time, that's when her Trap Queen video came out, and I admitted it to her. I told her, like, oh my God, Jay, like, and mind you, in college, I was basically the pinnacle. I was the spotlight. I was the flamboyant one that everybody wanted. Pinnacle. I was the spotlight. I was the flamboyant one that everybody wanted to get to know, and I was on stages and stuff like that. And I grew extremely envious of her. And I told her that. I was like, and I felt to myself that I wouldn't be a genuine friend if I didn't say something about it. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay. And I wouldn't be real to myself if I didn't say something. So I said something. I told Lala, I said, I'm extremely jealous of you. I was like, can you help me out? Can you shout me out? X, Y, and Z. And I immediately went into a viperous mode. Hindsight looking back, that wasn't the correct thing to do. I should have checked myself at the door. But hey, you live and you learn. You understand. So when I admitted that to her, I had one brief text message conversation after that, and then after that, I was basically dismissed. She dropped me. She sent me into her nether realms. And so as a spectator. I'm just watching how she is courting these various individuals, and one of them by means of Quay. I don't know Quay personally. This has nothing to do with TT or anything like that. And I just felt as if I had been replaced. So hindsight looking back, and this is actually a recent euphoria that has come over me, it was not her that I was upset with or envious of. It was the idea of being abandoned, rejected, and replaced. And I think that in my logical and physical mind, what I did was I carved her physical form out, and she then was a representation of that energy. You know what I'm saying? She then began to represent my resentment when it comes to feeling abandoned. And I think this went all the way back to my birth and me being adopted. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just now coming to terms with some of those things. You know what I'm saying? And also, I looked at it like an Ash Ketchum and Gary situation. I don't know if you guys watched Pokemon ever, but Gary was always like 10 steps ahead of Ash in the Pokemon thing, and I felt like she was always 10 steps ahead of me. And through that, I grew very bitter. I grew very cold. I felt like I was stuck in my growth. And a lot of that fueled my first trip to Los Angeles, which was probably why it was not successful the first time. Okay. I say all of that because it is in relevance to the story that I'm telling right now. And again, as of recently, I recently started antiquating what all of this was for. It was a major lesson. She was just the bringer of a lesson. As Q is also a bringer of a lesson for myself as well. And I'm expressing it transparently to you to potentially help somebody. So, it took years to get over that. I got over it. And again, we're taking you back to the hotel room with Q. We're just discussing it. And she began to make mention of somebody by the name of B Love. And she was basically saying, I went to her house, and you know, this was way back in February. She said, I went to her house, I didn't have a good experience, and I felt the same viperous energy that I possessed for Lala. That's what she possessed for B-Love. You know what I'm saying? It was a very similar parallel we were able to draw there. And I thought we were connecting very well. You know, we were in hot tubs together. She was on my live video. We do a little photo op on the beach. I mean, it was great. I treated her to a 5-star hotel. And I had a great time. Anyways, hindsight after that, after the trip was over, she goes back to where she's at, and I'm where I'm at, and our friendship begins to grow. And I enjoy it. You know, I'm absolutely enjoying being courted by her. I'm not a fan of mukbanging. I don't like to watch people eat. I don't. So I really didn't understand like how she was doing what she was doing and making money. And I didn't really want to know. I was so worried about like to watch people eat. I don't. So I really didn't understand like how she was doing what she was doing and making money. And I didn't really want to know. I was so worried about what I was doing, X, Y, and Z. So we began hitting it off on the entrepreneur level. I'm able to talk to her about my stuff, and she's able to talk to me about her stuff. And I thought it was going really great until one day I was going to have a guest on my show, and that was the night of a talent show. And I don't know if you guys remember my friend Jasmine who came, and I told Q that like Jasmine is going to come and be a part of my show or whatever. And she said, well, I'm going to let you know something. I'm a Scorpio, and we're very territorial. And I found that quite odd because I was like, well, you don't know me in real life. How can you be jealous of somebody from my past coming to do the show? I just didn't understand. So she does the show, and that night Q ends up crashing the talent show. And basically she was supposed to be a judge on the talent show, and she ended up calling into my live and basically taking the talent show over. And all of this information throughout all of this experience is being reflected in my group Spirit Squad Worldwide, which is my private organization where I disclose some of my deepest, darkest online secrets before I bring them to the public. Okay, so shout out to Squad. Let me see your symbols down there for support. So when that happened, I grew weary. Now, mind you, we had planned a trip to Atlanta after that, right? And I grew weary, and I addressed it with her. I said, why would you do that? Like, I just didn't understand why you would come in and crash something when I already had a place for you on the online talent show. I just didn't understand. So from that time period, we began to kind of like, it's almost like rose petals are falling off a rose as it grows, you know? And it's just starting to feel a bit more awkward, you know? And again, that was just still plaguing in my mind, like, okay, well, why that protector thing, it did rub me the wrong way because I've been burned by people so many times. And it's like, I didn't understand the constant flattery, and I also didn't understand, why you would do that on my live, and then why you would be territorial over somebody that I've known my entire livelihood. And she expressed to me, she said, well, you've expressed expressed that you might have had some concerns about her in the past, and I just didn't want to repeat as your friend. I was like, okay, cool. And then she was saying that she wanted to schedule phone calls with me. Now, that was just out of order, honey, because I'm like, look, honey, if you're trying to get on my schedule, we need to book an appointment. I mean, it was developing over the course of a month very, very fast for me, and I just wanted to pump the brakes is all. I still wanted to go to Atlanta with her. I still wanted to have a good time. So one day, she ends up texting me, and she says, Lala is going to be at BeautyCon. Now, mind you, I just told you about my history with Lala or whatever, and she says to me that Lala is going to be at BeautyCon. I said, and? You know, very sarcastically, like, I mean, that's like me calling your worst enemy and saying that they're going to be an event that you're going to be at. She was scheduled to be at BeautyCon or whatever. And I was like, and she was like, would you be mad if I took a picture with her and tried to get her in a mukbang? And I told her, I was like, how would you like it if I took a picture with B-Love and tried to get in a mukbang with her? And the reason I used B-Love's name was because we had that similarity transpire in the hotel room. Like, I just had to make the comparison. I didn't think that she understood it. Also, in that hotel room, I expressed to her my biggest pet peeve was to be creatively mimicked and creatively copied. That is a huge pet peeve of mine. Like, everybody knows that about me. I do not like my creativity being ripped off of or being mimicked or copied or anything of the nature, okay? She said, got it. I just had to make sure because I didn't want to fucking trigger you. Well, that was the last message that I got from Q, and the receipts are in my inbox still. Like, she said, oh, I didn't want to trigger you, X, Y, Z. Now, mind you, I put money on that Airbnb that she was at or whatever, and I'm calling her. She's not answering the phone. I'm texting her. She's not responding to me, and then she responds to me saying that I'm finna film a video. And I was just like, okay, this is shade. Girl, keep the money. Not that she offered to give it back anyway. Keep the money. Have a great time in Atlanta, and I'll see you when I see you. I wish you well. The next day, I was in her nether realm. Okay? The next day, I was in her nether realm. And you know what happens when somebody first goes into the nether realm? What you do is you stalk the person who banished you's page. Okay? You stalk their page. Like, you go to your burner accounts and you check to see what they're doing, what they're posting about. And I really wasn't so heavy on it because I wasn't so emotionally invested. Again, we were getting to know each other, diving deeper from a client relationship to a friendship at an accelerated rate. And I'm in her damn nether realm. I didn't know what the hell was going on, honey. It was all black. It was black and musky, and I didn't know what the hell was going on. So, one thing led to another after that, and, you know, I just, you know, I have days where I peep on people that I blocked, that and being my ex, that's Ashley, that's everybody that I blocked. I just have a day. Sometimes I sit down and I just scroll, and I scrolled on her stuff about a week ago, and what I see is that she copied my walking video. Okay, now I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I have this thing where I am walking. I even did it in Hilton Head. Scroll down to my timeline and you guys can see my walking video. Okay, now I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I have this thing where I am walking. I even did it in Hilton Head. Scroll down to my timeline and you guys can see. I'll like start walking and then it'll slow down and go into slow motion or whatever, right? Well, she posted a video at BeautyCon doing the same style of video. I was like, okay, this bitch. Again, and I didn't even fucking address it. I didn't say anything about it. I just was like, okay, this bitch. Okay, we're just gonna take notes. We're just gonna take notes. We're just gonna take notes, okay? And then she comes out with a meditation track, a spiritual meditation track. Like, in the track, she's having basically affirmations, which are mind, you know, it's in her voice, and she's basically has elicited, you know, I am well, I am perfect, everything I'm doing is bringing me strength. And I'm just sitting back taking notes, just like, Next thing you know, she posts a picture with Lala at the BeautyCon, okay? Which was initially a big red flag for me because I was like, okay, I wasn't in the space that I'm in now. I was like, this bitch, like, clout chasing like a motherfucker. Like, what the fuck? Why would you even befriend me in this way? And you are just gonna do the backhand bounce over to somebody who I told you I had a history. I just didn't understand. I was mind boggled, but I didn't think to say anything. Now, I still haven't said anything to her, you know, and I'm minding my business, you know, I'm watching some spiritual shit on YouTube or whatever, and I get a text message from somebody say, did you see this shit going on between B-Love and Q? I said, no, what's the tea or whatever? And I don't watch mukbang, so I had to get the tea from another source. So I get the tea, I start looking some stuff up, and the only reason that I'm speaking against this is because you called her son a queen. Now, anybody knows this about me. I will stand with my LGBT brethren and sisterin and however you identify in them. I will stand with you, okay? You had no right. You had no right. And then looking at what you told me versus what the receipts that B Love showed, I mean, seems to me like you was clout chasing, girl. And I'm gonna tell you the last thing before I actually revert the topic into the lesson that I have to give you guys. You know, I paid attention to Cardi B. And Cardi B recently posted B Love, right? The only reason I feel like you are posting or exposing the truth about your experience with her is because you saw that Cardi B posted her. That's the only reason that you did that. That's the only reason that you did that. You could have held that in, and then it got so messy. You expected to put that out there and to gain traction on that, but it got so messy because B Love is who you copied. I'm literally watching, in my mind's eye, my own karma manifest through your situation. You know what I'm saying? It's who you copied. I'm literally watching, in my mind's eye, my own karma manifest through your situation. You know what I'm saying? Now, do I believe that anybody online deserves to be publicly humiliated? No. Do I believe that my own karma manifests through your situation? You know what I'm saying? Now, do I believe that anybody online deserves to be publicly humiliated? No. Do I believe that the online community should hang people by a noose every time they make a mistake? No. But I'm telling y'all my story, and then I'm going to, you know, reflect on what was portrayed in those videos that are still posted, might I add, you know? And if it was so detrimental in XYZ, why would you leave them posted when you're basically shaming a family who actually brought you in and put you on their platform? And then for me to actually do a little bit of research didn't take that long because I'm not a mukbang fan. B Love been at this shit. There was a reason Cardi B posted B Love and did not post Q. The reason I say this too is because she said she was gonna go to BeautyCon and she was gonna shoot her shot with Cardi B. So the fact that Cardi B posted B Love, oh, that sent her over the edge, baby. She could not take. She could not take. And me, who's supposed to be damaged goods in your nether realms, I'm going to come in and I'm going to defend that boy who we don't know if he's gay or not. Okay? If he's effeminate or not, I don't even know these people. But what I do know is you have no right to first come into this queen's environment physically. Okay? Learn from me. You learned a lot from me too, okay? And you want to say that you're so Christian and all this other stuff. Bitch, we did a spell on the beach and you saw what I saw. So please, okay? And again, I preface this by saying I'm not a mukbanging fan and I am not a Christian. I'm not. I'm an oracle. I do know the Christ energy though, so if that scares you, bye. You learned a lot from me too, okay? And you want to say that you're so Christian and all this other stuff. Bitch, we did a spell on the beach and you saw what I saw. You learned a lot from me too, okay? And you want to say that you're so Christian and all this other stuff. Bitch, we did a spell on the beach and you saw what I saw. So please, okay? And again, I preface this by saying I'm not a mukbanging fan and I am not a Christian. I'm not. I'm an oracle. I do know the Christ energy though, so if that scares you, bye. You know, girl, this ain't for you. But I attune my energy to a multitude of different things, and she does as well. Okay, now her sister I can't speak to for sure, but I've given her spellcasting magic before, and the fact that you're even consorting with me goes against the word of God if you want to know the truth about it. So if I can say anything, I'm going to say this. In terms of redemption, God removes people out of your life for a reason. You know what I'm saying? I swear I dodged a bullet because if you go on YouTube right now, they are going in on this baby. You know what I'm saying? And I catch myself as I'm doing my research feeling bad because I'm like, damn, they are really going. But these people follow these people's journeys. Again, I'm an outsider to this. I don't know. All I know is my personalized experience with it. And she learned from me. She learned the artistic movement of slowing down the video as you pace. She learned, I don't know, I didn't teach her that spiritual audio thing. I don't know where she got that from, child. But I'll say that to say this. I enjoyed our time together. I did. I just felt like we should have pumped the brakes a little bit, and your movements were questionable. I would never intentionally say I was going to go do something with B Love, and you told me as my friend that you have a problem with her. That's just my biggest thing. Or you had a problem with her. You know, that's my biggest thing. That was just my biggest thing right there. And the fact that you called that boy a queen. You wrong for that, girl. You wrong for that. And then you posted a video saying that you're not sorry. I don't know. And honestly, I feel like this is a cry for help. This is a cry for help. And as your psychic, I'm apologizing that I wasn't able to provide the help that you needed. Okay, so that's a little tea for the evening, okay? You guys learned a lot. I might post this shit tomorrow if I'm feeling messy, but I'm not feeling too messy right now. I am ready to read. If you guys accepted into your woman in loving arms, go ahead and give me hugging emojis. I know what y'all came here for. Y'all came here for the gift, for the talent, and things of that nature. Again, press challenge. Mark that underneath my Cardi B post if you don't mind. The tip jar is open as of right now. And give me tea and hug emojis if you are receptive to what I had to give you. And it's no shade. It's no shade at all. Like, I don't wish ill upon anybody. All I can do is reflect on my personal experiences as of right now. And honestly, it just makes sense. The only reason that you came for her is because Cardi B just posted her. That's a clout chaser if you ask me. That's a clout chaser if you ask me. Alright, let's go ahead and do this real quick, and then I am going to be ready to read in this motherfucker. I love you guys for listening, and I thank you guys very much for doing so. Again, this is Boots Tarot. I am the hip-hop oracle, accurate, intuitive reader, gay extraordinaire. I'm stalling because I'm trying to find a song to play right now.